Right, hi everyone. So this is the second in the series of our Salesperson of the Month podcasts. I'm very pleased to welcome Zeta Stephenson, who has won for the month of September. Good morning, Zeta. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good, thank you. Are you?
I'm very well, thanks. So you've been in the business for about 3.5 months now. Do you want to give everyone a bit of an overview of you, what vendors you work on, how you're getting on?
Yeah, so I'm an account executive. So I work on a smaller team with a few other account executives. I'm a team leader. I work on both Okta and Yubico. So Okta is identity access management system and Yubico is a hardware multi-factor authentication device. And I'm really enjoying working with the both of them as there's a really nice integration there. So that's always exciting.
Yeah, I think you made a really good point there with the integration. It's a great conversation for you to have with partners, right? Because there's normally, a synergy between the two technologies, which means there's a cross-sell opportunity too, and that they really work well together. So, you've got it made working on those two vendors, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like now I'm more confident I'm able to have those conversations about how they integrate, and I'm getting much better responses back from my partners. So yeah, it really seems to be paying off, and I'm grateful that I'm working with these two vendors that do integrate so well.
Great. Before we sort of kick off with the questions about how well you've done and all that, I'm very conscious you've been in the business for a few months and you've not had a real chance to go out and meet our vendors and partners, right? Because we can't at the moment and there's been lots of video calls. So I want to ask you 5 quick fire questions as a little bit of a get to know Zeta. So I want to fire these questions at you. Don't think about it. Ping me the answers. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. How do you have your steak cooked?
Oh, medium rare.
Okay. Favorite drink?
Alcoholic or?
No? Yeah, let's go for that.
Oh, Aperol Spritz.
Okay, good. Dream holiday?
Oh, Mexico.
Why?
Why? Because it's unreal. It looks gorgeous and it's like booming as well. You can go out and
booming. Don't know what it needs. Too old. Recommend a Netflix series.
Oh, Money Heist.
Okay, not seen it. Good. Last one, big question. Whose lunch would you have, Matt Payne's or Jack Clemenson's?
Oh, Matt Payne's.
Why is that?
What a petty faloo.
so for people that don't know, Matt and Jack are the AMs here, and they sometimes bring us some shocking lunches. So I fully back your Matt's. Jack eats some rubbish.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be feeling very healthy if I went with Matt. Whereas I'd be feeling like a 12-year-old if I went with Jack.
Good stuff. Good. So back on to the boring work stuff. So how long have you been here now? Is that 3 months, 3.5 months?
Yeah, so since the start of August, and we're now coming up to the end of October, so yeah, nearly 3 months.
And how have you found your first few months at Distology in general?
So I think for me it was a hard place to start just because I'd never worked in tech before. So it was just coming in, learning all about the vendors and the tech that I'm working with, finding out how all the channel works and what Distology's role in the channel is. So that was like really overwhelming to begin with. But now I feel like I've found my feet a bit more. I really understand like where we fit, where we add value. And I feel like I'm properly finding my place within that. So yeah, good, but it was very overwhelming, but in a good way.
No, I get that. Look, if you're brand new to sort of channel, it does take a while to get your head around. I'm still getting my head around it, right? How did you go about fixing that challenge? Because it is a big challenge when you come in. How did you go about it?
I think the main thing was to just speak to as many people as possible, not overthink like, oh, if someone might ask me a question that I don't know the answer to. That was a really big thing because I like to know what I'm talking about inside and out. I like to know if someone's asking me a question, I like to be able to say, these are the options, this is what we can do. But obviously coming into tech and, learning about new tech that I've never really seen before, that was a bit daunting for me. However, I do feel like I've picked it up quite well. And I'm understanding the tech. I've still got a lot to learn and a long way to go, but I feel like I do understand it and I'm getting there with that. So I think that was a big challenge for me. But I think just not overthinking it and just being confident and just, making sure that if you don't know, just make sure you check in, you get back to the person. It's not the end of the world, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think obviously you have overcome it, right? Because we're sat here having a chat about you winning for September. So how did he do it? How did he go from, early days where you were trying to get your head around channel and the vendors you were working with to being top dog in September?
I just think at the start of September was where I had a bit of a turning point, where I just thought, stop worrying and just go for it. Just speak to as many people, get your name out there, let them know what we can offer, and you'll see the results. And I think, you know, I don't want to say that I was lucky, but I think, you know, fortunate things happened and I dealt with it in the right way, and that's why I saw the results. So I think mainly it was just about staying calm and just making sure that I'm getting back to everyone, and that they know that I'm their go-to person, and that I can, you know, I'm there to help, basically.
Yeah. And how have you fitted into the team in general, right? You know, we're a growing business. We're always taking new people on. How have you found that?
Yeah, I mean, I've loved starting and getting to know everyone. Obviously, it's been difficult because not everyone's been in due to the pandemic, and people have been on phased return, and, you know, people have been in and then back out. So that's always been difficult, but I've loved getting to know everyone in the team. Everyone's lovely. Everyone's got some good jokes, some bad jokes.
That include me or not?
Absolutely includes you.
on the bad, I reckon, yeah.
But no, I've loved getting to know everyone, and I feel like I've really started to fit in well with the team.
Great. And this is, you know, I just mentioned before, we're a growing business, but, you know, we're hiring again in terms of new salespeople and across the business too. What advice would you give someone in your shoes who, you know, we've got a new starter who starts in the first week of November, what advice would you give them?
I'd just tell them to initially focus on learning your tech, and if people are asking you questions, 9 times out of 10, and people used to say this to me when I first started, you'll probably know more than the other person anyway, which don't let that like phase you, that, you know, oh, someone might ask me this, someone might ask you that, and just be confident. And, you know, if you are a bit stuck, just ask someone. Like, everyone's been so helpful, and I think that's been key to me doing as well as I did last month, because I don't feel afraid that I can't ask any questions. And maybe that's just because I am that sort of person anyway. I'm very like inquisitive, and I will ask loads of questions anyway. But I'd just say, don't be afraid, because I think that was what I was doing a little bit at the start. I was like, oh, I'm so worried.
That's natural, right? It's natural.
Yeah.
Last question, you'll be pleased to know. So this is going to be your first full quarter at Distology. What do you want to achieve this quarter?
I just want to achieve making sure that I know where I'm going to be focusing most of my time. I think that's my main thing, to make sure I'm going to be successful. But I know that the conversations I'm having now are really positive, and I know that after Christmas, I'm going to know where I stand with my partners and where the best places are to focus my time. So I just think I want by Christmas to come into January and be like, right, this is where my focuses are, and this is how I'm going to work with those partners and make sure we get the most out of it.
Yeah,
so that's what I want to achieve, and obviously hit my target.
I was hoping you were going to say that, but no, I think for you as well, you know, you work on such exciting technology as well. Those conversations are great to have with partners, right? Because it's a nice conversation to have, to say, hey, you know, we're working with this amazing tech. Let's have a conversation about it and see if it'll help A, your business, and B, your end users too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it is really exciting, because the feedback you get from the customers, when you're showing someone this new tech and you're like, have you seen this before? And then, like, on Friday, I did a demo with a new partner that had never worked with us before, showed them Yubico, one of the vendors that I'm working with, and they were like, wow, this is amazing. Like, get a message on Friday night, coming on Monday to see that, like, obviously he's been thinking about it over the weekend and he really likes it. Like, that's so rewarding for me to think, oh, that went really well and I really see potential there.
Yeah, love it.
Well, thanks, Zeta, for joining us for episode 2 of the Salesperson of the Month podcast series.